Hey everybody, Fallout 76 has been officially announced. We're going to see more at E3, but right now we're going to talk about what we know and what we're hoping to see from it. So from the trailer and from the lore of Fallout, we know that the vault is opened 20 years after the bombs. It has 500 people, and the idea is that they were supposed to be the first settlers to reclaim the wasteland.
Yeah, it is the earliest Fallout game in terms of timeline.
Yes.
Like, I think the first one takes place 50 years after the bombs drop. I think. I could be wrong.
50 or 80?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Like
so this is 20. This is the earliest one.
Yes, you can see like on the Pip-Boy, it looks like the Pip-Boy 2000 from the earlier ones. A little different, but it's kind of going for that like earlier tech design. So the trailer didn't really say much else. There's a lot of like hidden information. I know we have
Plenty of breakdowns too that you can check out.
you can check out. We're not going to do that. We're just going to more talk about the rumors, which Kotaku has talked about and some other people have mentioned, that it is going to be a online survival game.
Yeah, in a similar vein to DayZ or Rust or something like
Right.
that. Which I think when I first heard that, I was like, I don't know if I want Bethesda Game Studios doing something like that. However, after thinking about it and talking about it in the office, I actually think like if they are gonna do a game like this, Fallout fits really well, and I think they could do it properly.
Right. I've always felt like Fallout as a universe is actually like really primed for spin-offs, and I've always wanted them to like experiment with different style Fallout games. So I'm all for this. And they've mentioned in the Kotaku thing, it mentioned that there were still going to be quests and there's still going to be a main story. So it's not like it's going to be like you're just running around aimlessly. There's still things to do in dialogue.
Yeah, which I think is definitely important when considering these kind of games, because a lot of times the issue is that apart from those PvP interactions, there's not a whole lot to do.
Right. So I guess the big thing is sort of like, how many people do you think are going to be playable? Like, is the idea like it's one big server? I mean, in the lore, it's 500 people in the vault. So is it going to be 500 people in one server? Do you think how do you think they're going to handle that?
500 people in one server would be ambitious.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't imagine it would be like that. And I'm also curious if everyone you interact with is going to be from Vault 76. Like, I
true.
guess that's what it's called, so probably, but that also seems kind of weird that you'd be interacting with people that you spent 20 years with already. So it's like, would you necessarily like shoot someone who you lived in the vault with for 20 years? Like, I'm kind
Right.
of curious how that's going to work.
Yeah, like do you all start as vault dwellers, or can you like be like, I'm gonna play a raider, or I'm gonna play a mutant, or
Yeah.
that'd be interesting. Because I feel like when you take a game like Fallout, it's designed to be, you can mess around with it, you can like build whatever you want, you can kind of go crazy, you can kill anyone you want.
Yeah, you become a drug addict, you can like
Right.
do all sorts of weird role playing.
I'm very curious to see how they're gonna handle that with online, because you think of like games like DayZ and Rust and kind of what they were talking about. And those games are designed around like trolling and ganking. I would hope they'd have a way where it's like, I want to play this game and not feel like I'm constantly at risk of losing all my shit.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of that, but I do feel like there needs to be some sort of safety net.
I mean, I think the easiest workaround, and I think what will probably be the case, is that there will be public servers where you can interact with random people, and then
Right.
you can also have your private servers where you can just play with friends, you can explore the wasteland, do quests, hopefully.
Yep.
Build, like, because the wasteland is such a threat as is that you don't necessarily need other people, I feel like, to get involved. While that definitely adds an extra layer,
Sure.
and while I'll definitely spend time doing that, Fallout seems also the perfect game to just do co-op, like
Yeah, PvE
you, me,
server.
a couple other people are just in a server. We set up some buildings, some establishments, fight off some super mutants, some razor claws. What are they called again?
Death Claws.
Death claws. So yeah, it seems like it would make sense. What I'm most curious about how they're gonna interweave the story.
Right. I think maybe the thing that makes me the most excited about this is you and me were playing The Forest, which was a co-op survival game with a story, and I'm thinking about like that was so much fun, and that was maybe the first game of this type of survival game style that I ended up like really liking. And if this game can kind of capture that feel of like you're working together with your buddies and you're building a shelter and you're like fighting off like enemies and you're doing quests, but it's in the Fallout universe, I think this game could be something really special.
Yeah, and I hope they really, I mean, because it makes so much sense for Fallout, but I hope they really take advantage of the genre, and that you need to eat, you need to drink, and like
Right.
in Fallout New Vegas they added that hardcore mode, and in Fallout 4 they
they added.
eventually added it. It was a shame that it wasn't at launch because I ended up not spending any time with it. But I always felt those were the best ways to play Fallout because that really puts you in the shoes of someone who's trying to survive the apocalypse or
Sure.
the post-apocalyptic world. So I really hope they embrace that sort of design, and you are forced to scrounge for food, scrounge for water, ammo. Like I hope that plays a huge role.
Me too. And those other modes always felt a little tacked on because it was like a modification of the basic experience.
Exactly, yeah.
So if they design it from the ground up, I think they could really improve on it, and that would be really cool.
Yeah, I hope you're not a slave to those systems though, because that can
Right.
also become an issue with these kind of games.
Totally. All right, guys, so that's everything we know about Fallout 76 and what we want to see. That game is going to be at E3, which we're going to be covering, so make sure to tune back in for that.
Take me home, country road.
In Vault 76, our future begins.